The day her father's will was read, Maya Thompson's world fell apart. The mahogany coffin still gleamed with polish, the lily still filled the air with sweetness that made her sick, and yet, as the lawyer cleared his throat, Maya already knew she'd be forgotten. Her stepmother sat like a queen surrounded by her perfect sons. The mansion, the vineyards, the cars, the lawyer read. All to Richard Thompson's sons from his first marriage. Her stepmother smiled, lips curling like a blade. Then came the pause, and to Maya Thompson, the old farmhouse and adjacent barn. For a second, there was silence. Then laughter broke like thunder. Guess she gets the hay, one brother snickered. Maybe she'll find a horse to match, another added. Maya's throat burned, her stepmother's voice dripped with fake sympathy. It's symbolic, she said sweetly. Your father always said you were earthy. Maya stood quietly, folding the deed in trembling hands. I'll take what's mine, she said softly, and walked out into the storm. By the time she reached the valley, rain had washed away her tears. The old barn stood like a ghost in the mist. Sagging roof, cracked wood, vines crawling up its sides. But when she pushed open the door, a wave of memory hit her, her father's whistle, the smell of oil and hay, the laughter that once filled this place. Now only silence answered. She rolled up her sleeves and began to clean. Dust filled the air, cobwebs clung to beams, but she worked until the floorboards gleamed faintly beneath the dirt. Looks like nobody's cared for you in years, she whispered. Hours passed before she noticed it, a carved beam with initials, RT plus MT, her father's and hers. She ran her fingers over it and felt something loose beneath the wood. A faint give. But before she could pry it open, the sound of tires crunched outside. Through a gap in the boards, she saw them, her stepmother and brothers, standing near the car. She can have this dump, one sneered. She won't find anything worth keeping, his mother said. Your father was sentimental, not smart. Maya's hands clenched. When they left, she turned back toward the beam. The humiliation she'd carried since the will reading turned to quiet resolve. By dusk, she had found an old toolbox. When she moved it, she noticed one board slightly raised in the corner. She pressed her boot against it, hollow. Carefully she pried it up. Underneath lay a brass key wrapped in oilcloth and a note in her father's familiar handwriting. Where the earth meets its mirror, truth waits for its keeper. Her heart raced. What does that mean, Dad? She whispered. That night she couldn't sleep. Moonlight spilled across the valley, silver and soft. The barn's roof glowed like a memory waiting to be remembered. By 2 a.m. she gave in. Flashlight in one hand, her father's jacket in the other, she crossed the wet grass. The barn groaned as she stepped inside. Then she saw it, a hairline crack beneath stacked crates. Concrete uneven, suspicious. She pushed the crates aside and pressed her hand to the floor. It shifted. A small section lifted like a trapdoor, releasing a breath of cold air that smelled of soil and secrets. Beneath it, a narrow staircase. Her flashlight flickered as she descended. The tunnel walls were lined with old boards and cobwebs. At the bottom, a small underground room waited, filled with boxes labeled in her father's handwriting. Harvest Logs 2009, co-records. But one box caught her breath. It had only one word written on it. Maya. Inside, she found folders tied neatly with string, legal documents, photographs, and a small recorder. When she pressed play, her father's voice filled the room, soft and steady. If you're hearing this, it means I couldn't tell you in time. The company's yours, Maya. I built it under your name years ago. Your stepmother's been moving assets, trying to take what's not hers. This was the only way to keep it safe. Trust the barn. It's always protected what mattered. Tears fell silently. He hadn't forgotten her. He'd protected her. When dawn broke, Maya emerged from the barn with a box of evidence that could turn the world upside down. The sky glowed gold through the mist as she whispered, You outsmarted them all, Dad. That morning, her stepmother texted, Don't embarrass yourself with your little barn. We're meeting with the estate lawyers today. Maya smiled faintly. You'll be meeting me. At the meeting, the air was sharp with arrogance. Her stepmother smirked as Maya sat at the far end of the long oak table. You're contesting the will? The lawyer asked. Not the will, Maya said, opening her folder. The ownership. The room fell silent as she laid out documents, incorporation papers, notarized transfers, and legal seals, all naming Maya Thompson as the primary shareholder of Thompson Holdings, the very company that owned every estate, vineyard, and car. Her stepmother's face went white. "This is impossible." She snapped. "Check the registry," Maya said calmly. Minutes later, confirmation arrived. "Miss Thompson is the majority shareholder," the lawyer said quietly. "Legally, she owns everything." Maya rose slowly. "I'm not here to take your homes," she said, her voice steady. "But this family stops being your puppet today," her stepmother hissed. "You'll regret crossing me." "I already did," Maya replied. Every time I stayed silent. When she walked out of that office, the morning sun felt different, warm, alive, like her father's pride brushing her shoulder. Days turned to weeks. The news spread everywhere. Farmer's hidden will reveals secret heir. The court upheld her claim. Her stepmother's allies vanished one by one. Justice didn't shout. It whispered, through the quiet dignity of truth. Maya returned to the barn, the place everyone had mocked. Now it stood tall, sunlight streaming through clean windows, the scent of fresh paint mixing with hay. She traced her fingers over the initials again. RT plus MT. "Guess you trusted me after all," she whispered. One afternoon, her brothers arrived. No suits, no arrogance, just quiet regret. The older one handed her a box. Inside lay their father's pocket watch. "He told Mom he lost it," the younger said. "Guess he just didn't trust her with it," Maya smiled softly. "He trusted time to show the truth." That evening, as the sun set over the valley, she sat on the barn steps, her father's watch ticking steadily in her hand. The air smelled of rain and new beginnings. "He didn't leave me a barn," she whispered, watching the golden light spill across the fields. "He left me proof that love outlives greed." The barn doors creaked gently in the wind, closing on the past and opening to everything ahead.